Alrighty, now they give us a triangle. It's triangle ABC, and just a friendly reminder, angles are capital letters, sides are usually notated in lowercase letters. Find the length of side A and the length of side B. So we're okay. We need to find the length of side A. So what we're going to do, this one's a little different. We are going to set up a trig function and we're going to use our calculator. So with respect to this 54-degree angle, this is opposite, and this one is adjacent, and this one is the hypotenuse. So if I want to know A, I'm going to need to use opposite over hypotenuse. Which trig function is opposite over hypotenuse? Oh, that's sine. Alright, but I actually have the angle. So I'm going to write the sine of 54 degrees equals A, which is opposite over 20. So I set up a little equation there. We're going to set up another one in a minute. And so I'm just going to multiply both sides by 20. So I get A equals 20 sine 54 degrees. So before we plug that into our calculator, you're going to hit mode and make sure that you're in degree mode and not radian mode. We'll get to radian later. So we get A equals, and then we have 20 times the sine of 54 degrees, which is 16.18, and it says round your answer to 1 decimal, so 16.2. It also wants us to find the length of side B. So with respect to this 54-degree angle, that's the adjacent over hypotenuse side. So we're going to do adjacent over hypotenuse would be cosine. So it's very similar. Multiply both sides by 20. So we get B equals 20 cosine 54. Make sure your calculator's in degree mode. You plug it in. Boop, 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 boop. 20 cosine 54. And we get 11.8. Fantastic. All right, we're already on the back side. Sweet. This one says solve for y using a calculator. Use your answer to 1 decimal place. So what do? Here's our angle that we're referencing. This is an opposite side, and this is the hypotenuse. What makes that trig ratio? What goes with that fraction of opposite over hypotenuse? That's sine. Sine of any angle is opposite over hypotenuse. So if I have the angle, which is 32 degrees, I have the sine of 32 degrees equals the opposite leg over the hypotenuse. So then I multiply both sides by 7, and I get y equals 7 sine 32 degrees. And I really encourage you guys to be plugging these in your calculator and not just copying my answer, just to make sure. You think you're going to know it, but history does not prove that for all kids. So 3.7. Now, if there were units on this, we would put the unit like meters or inches or whatever, but there's not, so we're good to go. Alright, this one says solve for x using a calculator. Round your answer to 1 decimal. So the angle that they give us is 38 degrees. So this is actually the adjacent side because it's touching, and then the longest side is always the hypotenuse. So this is actually going to be the cosine of the angle. So that's because cosine of theta, any angle, is adjacent over hypotenuse. So we take the cosine of 38 degrees, and we get x over 21. Multiply both sides by 21, and you get 21 cosine 38 degrees, which gives us 16.5. 5. Now, there is one thing that I just want to talk to you about, because I know some of you are super intelligent and you know how math can work differently and that there's more than one way to do something. So here is the other way to do it. So some of you know that the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So if they add up to 180 degrees and this is 90 and this is 38, I can actually find the missing angle even though it's not marked by subtracting. So this angle here is actually 52 degrees. So I'm drawing a separate triangle just because I want you guys to see it this way. So this is 52 degrees, this is X, and this is 21. Now, if I wanted to use this angle instead of this angle, look at X. Is X still the adjacent side? No, now it's the opposite side, but 21 is still the hypotenuse. If I had this, it would be the sine of 52 degrees equals X over 21. So then X equals 21 sine 52 degrees, right? Times both sides by 21. Look what happens because of the relationship between sine and cosine. We get the same answer. Yay! So it doesn't change the length of the triangle just because we use the other angle. It's just easier to use the angle that they give you, right? Because if you try and use the other one, then you have to relabel the sides of the legs of the triangle. So just be aware of that.